Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the North Shore 9 podcast presented by FanDuel. This is the NS9 postgame show powered by Permanente Brothers. They lose 5-4 today against the Dodgers. Dodgers take game one of this pretty important series, which the Pirates look like they could have capitalized and won with.
Yeah. The Dodgers remain undefeated in extras on the year because, of course, they are. It's hard when your starter goes 4 innings. It doesn't look all that great. But, man, it really felt like the Pirates had this one, like we were talking before the show. It really felt like the Pirates had this one. The bullpen looked great. They were shutting down the Dodgers. And then they could not score with a runner on first and third with no outs in extra innings, and that's your ball game. It really just comes down to that. You get 4 for 13 if runners in scoring position. It's not good enough, and it really came back to bite them when they really needed to run in extras.
It really did. I mean, again, we talk about resiliency with this team, the fight in them. And it showed today. They were down 4-2, which also, again, we'll talk about this further, but this was one of those games where it could have been a lot worse, I felt, than the 4 runs. Like the 4 runs, I'm not going to say best case scenario, but this could have went sideways even further. And it was still very manageable. It was a 4-2 ball game. They do come back. Oneil Cruz hits that home run. It's a tied ball game. Like you said, the momentum shifted, and the bullpen did their job. I mean, that's the thing that they weren't doing earlier on the year. Like this was a game that doesn't even entertain extras because it ends up being, even with that home run, a 4-run, that they put up, it ends up being like an 8-4 ball game or whatever at that point in time. Bullpen does a job. They hold it. Mason Montgomery comes in, shuts the rest of the lineup down, and they go into extras. And like you said, that's the frustrating part about this. They go into extras. You've got guys in the corners, right? Brian Reynolds hits that single. Got guys in the corners there. No outs. Here's your chance to really get some runs on there. Maybe not even just one. Maybe get some multiple runs here. Gonzalez, Cruz up, and they get absolutely nothing out of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a really frustrating thing about tonight is that I somewhat mentally checked out when Bubba was really, really struggling. I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna be one of those nights. It sucks, but I'm not gonna let it affect me. But when you stay up really late watching this game, and I'm sure a lot of the people who are tuned into this are feeling to watch them claw back, gain the momentum, and then throw it away in such a stupid fashion. It hurts, and it's hard to not feel at least a little bit frustrated, if not angry about what happened tonight. I'm sure we'll get to the specifics, but no, I'm not in a good mood because it's 1:30 in the morning and I had to watch these guys get walked off on a game they should have won. And it really shouldn't matter to me because I don't think the team's making the playoffs, but man, if they won tonight, that's 3 straight wins. You came back against the Dodgers on the road. It would have been such a satisfying win, and just have that ripped from us, it feels bad.
It does for multiple reasons. Just talking the series in general. It's not that Yamamoto's like, oh, this is the righty, so they got to get this win. Like it's still Yamamoto. He's an excellent starter. But you have 2 lefties coming up, and that's where the Pirates do really struggle in for one. And one of those lefties coming up is like a very recent Cy Young winner and like the most coveted pitcher on the trade deadline. And, it's not going to be easy tomorrow. So winning today at least gives you hope and chances for, taking this series. When you lose today, you have to win the next 2 to take the series, and it's going to be very tough to do. So there is that aspect of it. And the aspect, like you mentioned, when you're given that opportunity, right? You claw back into this game. It's a 4-4 ball game. You go into extras, and you have an opportunity in front of you with 2 guys on, no outs. And again, Nick Gonzalez has been hitting well of late, and of course in today's game he did. He did a lot of the scoring early on, those 2 runs, and then Oneil Cruz coming up after him. You expect to get something done there, and Nick Gonzalez gets out. Oneil Cruz is walked, rightfully so. I mean, you're not going to have him win the game. We got the the base there. And then I do want to talk about this. So Rafael Flores would be due up, and they go to Henry Davis. I think this is the talking point. Rafael Flores has been on a heater. He has absolutely been on a tear when he's come up. He's won the ball game multiple times for the Pirates. He's been the hero. I know he's over 4 today, 2 strikeouts. What are you doing in this situation if you're Don Kelly?
I mean, he was pinch hit 4 in the 6th, or pinch ran 4 in the 6th question, right? Was that what happened? I think it was pretty early on, unless I'm going crazy. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it was right there in extras.
Oh, wow, I was just saying the extras. Wow, I don't know what that guy was paying. Okay, yeah, fascinating choice, isn't it? I wouldn't. I thought he was pinch hit 4.
Hold on, my bad. You know what? 4. You're right. My bad. Hold on. I'm the one here. Never mind. He was pitch run for the 8th. It wasn't the 6th, but it was the 8th. You're right. You're right. Never mind. That's a moot point.
Yeah, I mean, pinch running for catchers is a new one. I'll say that. It's more defensible as like a defensive replacement if you just prefer Davis's glove in a tie game. But yeah, it really sucks to not have the hot hand come up to bat there. And Henry Davis has been bad all year at the plate. So it really sucks. And I'm sure they'll ask him about it. I'm not exactly sure why you would be pinch running in the 8th inning for your catcher of all things.
Right. So again, yeah, in that aspect of it, right? I don't know if, I understand his defense, right? More to be desired. He did throw out a runner today. That was definitely good on his part. The first one, second one was safe or whatever. He threw out a runner today. He's looked better behind the plate. He's still no Henry Davis, but Henry Davis lost a few challenges today also. Say that.
Yeah.
It's a 4-4 ball game. I'm not taking Flores out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not for Henry Davis in this situation.
Yeah, and
it comes back to haunt him.
Yeah, it's so weird because I didn't really think anything of it when it happened. I'm just like, oh, I guess he wants Davis's speed, he wants his glove, but no, it really just comes back to bite him because not only does Davis lose he lost both their challenges, right? If I'm not mistaken, he had the lost or extra innings challenge on a ball that wasn't even close. But then
it wasn't. It was. He has been really good. Like, I'll give him credit. He has been good. That one wasn't close. And I just wonder if because it happened to be like that would have been the second strike, like
the third strike. Yeah.
Or like it's the third strike. Was it the second or third strike?
It would have been the third strike. It was like 2.
It would have been?
Okay. Pretty sure it was a 2-2 count. But the ball wasn't close. It was like it was solid 4 inches off the plate. And then, yeah, the bat is just, it's not there. It wasn't. He at no point during that bat did Henry Davis look like he was going to get a hit. It looked extremely uncompetitive from the jump.
The bat's been bad. He started coming a little bit more alive when he came up, and that's one thing we talked about. Like, this catching position isn't really as bad as people like to talk about it, and of course, it's lifted very much at that point in time. Endy was batting quite well, but Henry was batting better, but it has been awful lately. Past 7 days, he's batting 125 at 398 OPS. The past 15 days, 167 with a 417 OPS. The past 30 days, a 191 batting average with a 482 OPS. Like, it's bad. It is bad. There's nothing, there's nothing right now that makes me want to put Henry Davis into this type of ball game in this situation.
No, and that's fair. I don't think Flores is a catcher long term. I really don't. Like, I just don't see him sticking there in terms of his ability to throw or frame. But yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to take him out in that situation unless you really just think the bat isn't that different. But it is. It's much different, even in this small sample size. And so, yeah, I don't get it, to be honest. I don't know. It just sucks. I don't know. I don't know if I'm willing to say like a loss in the game, but man, did it put Henry Davis in a really bad spot
It did.
to come up and hit in the middle of the order because Henry Davis shouldn't be at the sixth guy in the order in any capacity.
Right. And honestly, it's like, I mean, I jokingly said this, behind the scenes here too, but it's like, of all the times for Henry Davis to not have this monster pop up, it was in that situation. I would have took the patented Henry Davis pop up. Okay, at least it's just one out, then carry it over to the next guy, right? But he hits into the double play there, and again, just ends all hopes. Now you got to go to the Dodgers or Gregory Soto pitching, which like nothing against Soto. It's like you're not as confident as like Montgomery, obviously, but you got to go back to the Dodgers, who has a man on second right away with his ghost runner, and it's just like you felt it. And I mean, it's close, but Gregory Soto gives up the hit to left field, and that was enough to score the guy, and that was the ball game. But regardless, it's not as if that situation of Henry Davis, like you mentioned, said, was the deciding factor of this ball game. I mean, it's a plethora of people, right? Like you mentioned, the guys left on base, right? The bats were very spotty. Again, there's a good pitcher up there, but also starting with Bubba Chandler. This was a game I thought heading into this, as mentioned, Yamamoto, very, very good pitcher, even though he's a righty, right? Very, very good pitcher. This team struggles against the splitter. His splitter is fantastic. His splitter and four seam is it's unhittable. And he did, he threw those the majority of today. And the Pirates were not doing well. Now, ironically, they had 2 hits against the splitter, but they also swung and missed a lot against the splitter and the four-seamer. So Yamamoto was pretty much as advertised. But like in this game, it felt like it's one of those games where you're not going to do much against him, which they didn't. They got 2 runs, but it wasn't a whole lot against him. Bubba had to give this team a chance. He had to go out there and pitch well to that way get this team into the bullpen to maybe score the runs there, which, of course, they also did. Bubba didn't do that tonight.
No, he didn't. And I think I don't think like he was as bad as his stat line would suggest. But it was clear that this lineup gave him all types of issues. Like what makes it like a successful Bubba Chandler start is like an ability to get, at least in some capacity, get guys out quickly in some way, shape, or form. And he just could not do that. So then, like, even I think it was the 3rd inning, I think I want to say, where like the Dodgers don't score, but I'm pretty sure they either get 2 runners on or load the bases, and he is just laboring through every single at bat.
They were loaded.
They were loaded, yeah. Like he pitches like 7 pitches in that bat. He's visibly frustrated on the mound, and like good for him for getting out of that because it could have been like much worse. But at the same time, it's not good enough. And that Mookie, even when he got to those 2 outs, he then gives up some like dinky single to Mookie Betts with the bases loaded, and that it sunk the team in a way.
Yeah, that 3rd inning was pretty bad, and I felt. So I agree with what you said that he pitched better than I think the stat line shows, but the stat line could have been worse than what it was at the same time.
That's fair.
And I say that because there was a lot of unluckiness today, or not even so much it's unluckiness, but I mean the Dodgers are a very veteran, experienced team. Like that home run to Max Muncy, like he hits that up and in 101, and Muncy takes that deep, and that's a 2-0 ball, a 2-run right there, and it's like that. That's a kudos to Max Muncy right there.
You ready for a stat about that? You ready for
Sure?
Since the StatCast era 2015, that is the 2nd home run a lefty hitter has hit on a 100-mile-an-hour fastball up and in.
There you go. Okay, so all right. So then maybe also we can equate to unluckiness, not just Max Muncy, kudos to you, but maybe some unluckiness. Again, like that. That's crazy. Not a bad pitch.
No, it was a great pitch.
Muncy won that. Good for him, right? So that's where the stat line doesn't really show how well Bubba pitched, like you mentioned. However, things were happening, guys were getting on, and he was creating a lot of his damage. And like you mentioned, like again, that 3rd inning, like bases were loaded. He did get out of that jam. It could have been a lot worse of a 3rd inning than what it was. now was part of that too, because he had 2 clear strikes thrown on, I forget who it was, that were called balls. And instead of being an 0-2 count, it's a 2-0 count. Was he getting squeezed a little by the umpire tonight? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was he really wild tonight too in ways? Yeah. Like he wasn't, even though, like I said, those 2 strikes should have been balls, or those 2 strikes that were called balls should have been strikes in that, at bat there. He wasn't doing any favors by throwing a lot of balls and walking guys and hitting batters.
Yeah. No, like, he couldn't get out of his own way tonight for sure. Like despite the 6 strikeouts that he has, like which he earned because his stuff was pretty good tonight. Yeah, he really killed himself with untimely walks, untimely hit by pitches, and then once you do that against the Dodgers just have too many guys to not take advantage of that. And so it's a combination of luckiness, like that home run from Muncy, just absurd. Meanwhile, Brandon Lau hits one 4 seats foul in the 9th inning. Like
Right.
it's in ways like it's one of those nights where, but like, no, but Chandler still has to be better. And I know he's a rookie pitcher, and like the talent is clearly there. Like there's clearly like a high number 2, number 3 pitcher that's going to be in this league for a very long time in there. He's just not there yet, and I feel like the Pirates might have put a little too much on him in terms of what to expect from a rookie pitcher who started pitching very recently, all things considered.
Yeah. I mean, sure. For sure. There's certainly a lot of talent in Bubba. And we've been seeing a lot of the talent translate to results of recent. And again, like with tonight, to your point, Max Muncy doesn't hit that home run. That's two runs by Bubba.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what we're getting at. And again, like the problem, like you said, that's the second time ever in the StatCast era that's happened. So it's very probable that that doesn't happen. And you're talking about Bubba maybe in a different light tonight than that. But at the same time, those 4 runs, right, in that 3rd inning, things that easily could have given up more, and it's now 6 runs that he gave up instead of the 4 that's on the stat line. So, like, kudos to him for getting out of those jams. That was also self-imposed, but then there was some unluckiness, like you said, with that home run and some of the calls and such. So, yeah, it was a mixed bag from Bubba tonight. But again, you did need, again, if you really wanted to win this game, you needed the good Bubba to show up again tonight. You really had to. You probably going to be limited by Yamamoto. You needed to limit the Dodgers and then give this team a chance in, facing the bullpen, which they did. So again, it was 4 earned. He only goes 4. That's part of the problem too. But Johan comes in and he gives the experience. Johan pitched effective. Of course, he had to walk a guy with 4 straight balls.
Well, of course, like that's just his MO.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like, one last thing about Chandler, I don't know about Chandler, it's like, unfortunately, the Pirates are in a position where, like, we can say, like, how he still has talent and how he can look good, but the Pirates can't win games off and make the playoffs off of potential, unfortunately. They need the guys to show up and play now, which means that they needed good Bubba Chandler, a Bubba Chandler that at least goes 5 innings and doesn't have that 3rd inning. And you didn't have that tonight. And I think, luckily, the bullpen was fantastic, starting with Johan. This bullpen showed up and did exactly what they needed to do. Like, I feel bad for Gregory Soto, but, like, this bullpen pitched, 5 2/3 innings? 2 hits given up to this Dodgers lineup in 5 2/3 innings. And Johan started it off really well.
Yeah, he did. He did. Again, it was the experience. He walked out with 4 pitches, and you're like, oh, here we go. And then he does Johan stuff. Stuff is just absolutely filthy. And he gets out of it. I want to get to some supers here, though. So Dean, thanks for the $5 super. He does say bullpen was nails today. Absolutely. Tonight was on the offense except Cruz, Lau, and Gonzalez. Isaiah, thanks for the $5 super, says, if I had a nickel every time our bats looked at mid fastballs for strikeouts, I'd have a lot of nickels. Yes, so to back to Dean's point, that's true. But and I forget which inning it was. Was that one the sixth, whatever? Where I mean, there were just with Spencer Horwitz and Lau, especially just such uncompetitive bats. And Lau, strike three, fastball right down the middle. I mean, just right down the middle, looking at it. So, yeah, not on the offense as far as Lau goes mostly, but that at bat by Lau, that was a pathetic at bat.
It was. And you got to swing the bat there, man. Like,
not looking. I mean, not fastball, middle, looking.
However, I'm more concerned about the other guy you mentioned,
Spencer,
because this kind of predates his return. So obviously he's been terrible since he came back from the IL, which makes sense. It's a concussion that he's also been dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
But over his last 30 games, and you think he's been back for 14? Question mark, maybe something like
since the second. So I think
even less. Yeah, 14-ish.
Second or third. But yeah.
Yeah, but he is batting over his last 30, 196 on base percentage of 308 and a slugging percentage of 313. He has been terrible. And the Pirates can't have their leadoff guy go 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts on a nightly basis. Really could have used him to do some damage there tonight because, Lau had already done a good job. It's hard to get 3 straight hits, even though that at bat was bad. Please do your job, Horwitz.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess my thing with Horwitz is, right, he's not helping the club right now. The club needs help right now, so he is struggling. I mean, it's almost like the Brandon Lau situation. Like, Brandon Lau struggled for actually quite a bit of time as well. I mean, it was a quiet struggle because the offense was still really good. And it's whatever. Like, when everyone's clicking, I should say when everyone, but like when the offense is clicking and someone's struggling, it's not as noticeable. But when the offense isn't producing, it's really easy to find the guys that aren't helping it, And right now, that's the situation. Like, when Lau was struggling, no one really talked about it. I mean, Lau was, again, technically through a month's time, he was a worse hitter than Jared Trillo. He was actually like the worst actual like everyday type player on this team. But no one cared. No one noticed it. Offense is good. But now it's not so good. And yeah, Spencer Horwitz is doing that. But the thing is, too, is like, I mean, but Spencer Horwitz has proven to me he's a good hitter. Like, I'm not worried in the sense of like, oh, Spencer Horwitz is bad. He's still a good hitter. It's just he's going through his struggles right now. It's just not a timely time to to go through those struggles right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's entirely fair. I just think when the bottom third of your lineup or bottom 4 of your lineup doesn't really get on base except one Mangum hit, and then also the top of your lineup is struggling, like, that's just 6 guys where nothing is happening. And unfortunately, we do need more from Spencer Horwitz. We need him to be better. I'm not even asking for like whatever he was, where he was like top 10 in the league and OPS or something like that through like the last calendar year. I'm not even expecting that, but like, we need better Spencer Horwitz if we want him to make this run.
Well, you need him to be what he is on the season. Like, he's got right now, he's got a 756 OPS. Like, you need that Spencer Horwitz, not the one who, which, like you mentioned, let me pull up his splits real quick here. His last 30, you said, was like it's a 424 OPS. Like, you can't have that Spencer Horwitz. I mean, at least give me something near the 700. That you're doing at least, for the season. Right. Yeah. Right. You're correct. And like, part of this too is like, as Merlin has the day off today, like, he probably could have helped, but there's 2 lefties coming up. Makes sense to give him the day off today, I guess. There's a day off yesterday and he's a child. But I guess if you're still worried about days off, like, he needs to be in the lineup for the next 2. So if you're picking and choosing days off, today kind of makes sense in that degrees, but whatever. Yeah, totally fair. A couple more supers here. $5 from Guardian Printy. We were fooled into thinking there would be Bucktober. Cut the losses, fire everyone, sell the team, send Henry to take away Skeen's hot dogs. And then Pilsner Enjoyer, thanks for the $5 super. Also, he says Don Kelly is, in my opinion, awful, and I'm sorry the Henry Davis experience needs to end. Yeah.
I mean,
So,
unfortunately, he's here, and Davis is kind of stuck here until ND stops being made of glass. So, like, I don't know. I don't even know who the AAA catcher is right now. Couldn't tell you.
well, Christian Bencourt is on the
That's
taxi squad.
true.
So, and trust me, guys, that doesn't make it any better.
Yeah,
So,
I think Davis and Bethencourt might be about the same talent level batting wise. So,
yeah. So, anyways, but like you mentioned, we talked about Bubba. Talk about the bullpen. The bullpen was absolutely nails. Yeah, we started with Johan Ramirez. He goes in inning, gives up that walk as mentioned, has a strikeout, gets out of it. Kirby Yates comes in. Jokingly, I feel like the Pirates are going to put Kirby Yates into retirement. How many games is this now that he's pitched since the trade deadline? This guy's getting. This is an old man. We're giving Esmerlin days off, and we have Kirby Yates working overtime.
yeah, well, I mean, it's clear they just wanted a somewhat competent guy to do mop up duty. And unfortunately, this team has been in a whole lot of mop up duty recently, and not in a good way. So yeah,
Yeah.
Kirby, old man Yates here is really going to earn his social security checks here at the end of the season.
Right. Yeah, he goes in inning, no strikeouts, but he has the hits. He gets out of it. Bacher comes in. Now this one was not his best. The bullpen was lights out outside of Bacher, who, by the way, gets out of it, right? No foul, there's no damage done, no earned runs, but he goes an inning and has 3 walks and a strikeout. That was not a good time.
No. That was also when they were still down, and so I'm like, like I really perked up when Cruz tied the game. So I was like, I guess Bacher doesn't have it today, but I think we're losing anyway. But it was terrifying.
it was, but Cruz does make it interesting because it was Mangum that got the double before the inning earlier, and they completely wasted it. That's what we talk about the uncompetitive at bats, right? With Spencer and Lau, they completely waste Mangum being on second. Again, his team that's got to fight, come back. Brian Reynolds comes up, start the next inning. He gets a double. Are they going to waste this one or not? Oneil Cruz up the bat. And Neil, Oneil Cruz was out with a hand injury. Out for 2 months, longer than they even thought. I mean, the talk was Spencer and Cruz will be back before July's over. And then Cruz goes on the 60-day, and then Cruz is even activated when the 60-day, his time to be activated is active, comes to fruition. And he has 6 games in the minors. And again, we're talking about a hand injury that usually zaps power. He's been out for a couple months. Timing might be off. Dude, 2 home runs, 3 games. What now? 5 RBI in those 3 games. Cruz is back. I mean, I was not expecting this in his first 3 games.
I was, because Oneil Cruz has just been that guy. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I understand why people were like a little tentative. Like, a hand injury is no joke, but like, this is just what he's been doing all year when he's been healthy. He's that dude right now. What a great at bat, and what an absolute tank of a home run. Like, Cruz is so much fun to watch. I've missed him dearly, and I am quite annoyed that I had to read so many stupid tweets about how they need to trade Oneil Cruz at the trade deadline for pitching, because there's no one else on this team that does what Oneil Cruz does. And so I need to know who is going to watch this guy and still want him traded, because it boggles my mind. There's one person in particular, but we're not going to name drop on the show. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Yeah, Cruz is really good. Like, he's really good. And outside of Esmerlin, Endy, and Flores, which now Esmerlin is close to at bats, plate appearances. The other 2, really aren't yet, and they're not qualified, especially Flores. As far as like your actual everyday players on this team, he's the best hitter on the team. He's better than Brian Reynolds. He's better than Brandon Lau. He's better than Jake Mangum. He's better than Ryan O'Hearn, Spencer Horwitz. Like, he's the best hitter. And it's not just at the plate. It's when he's on the base pass too. Like, he comes back. And again, like, I mean, I believe in Cruz. I believe in the talent. I believe in the way it's translating into results this year. But again, coming off that injury and being away from baseball as long as he was, like, I don't think it's fair to expect Oneil Cruz to come back and just carry an offense. But he's come back and he's been that dude, like you mentioned. So, like, hats off to Oneil Cruz for apparently having no effects of this injury and timing and such. But absolutely. And also tremendous defense today. And not even just the defense. I'm not even talking about just the diving catch he made to help out Mason Montgomery, right? Mason Montgomery comes in the ninth, strikes out the first two batters. Then O'Neal has that amazing catch. I'm not even talking about that catch. I'm talking about the threat, just the threat of Oneil Cruz in the outfield. Now, Chandler ended up giving up the runs off the hit, but there was twice that the Dodgers could have attempted to tag up, and they didn't, just because the ball went into Oneil Cruz's glove.
No, I mean, he has all of this, like, the star intangibles. He has that huge arm. He has the power. He has the speed. And at least the plate, he's really started putting everything together. And he shows you flashes of what he could be as an outfielder. And I do think a lot of the bad defensive stuff just comes from the fact he never played it until 2 years ago. I would do unspeakable things to, like, get this guy extended, because he doesn't have the body of work stat wise to, like, demand, like, an insane deal. But he has the intangibles that you can pay him a pretty decent amount of money, keep him around, and he's someone, who really helps this team every single year with his power, with his speed, and with his defense.
Yeah. That's definitely another topic for, like, another day. But
yeah,
because of the injuries and, like, he's the overall, like, he's not going to make a ton of money per se through arbitration. So that helps your extension talks. So, yeah, man, Oneil Cruz come back looking really, really good. Again, he makes this ball game interesting, but ultimately they do lose it in extras because of the other offense players.
Yep. I will say, is that it's too bad the Pirates have been losing a lot of games, because, man, if this was like a playoff run, Weaver and Montgomery as a 1-2 punch in the 8th and 9th inning would just be so good. Games would be over after the 7th inning. They are just those dudes. They looked incredible tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. No question. And they, like you mentioned, they both absolutely just looked nails. The way Montgomery has, like, turned the season, I mean, at first you saw things when it wasn't always coming together, but it slowly has, and he has the confidence in the world right now, and he is just throwing strikes, and he looks so damn good. Yep. And Weaver as well. But hey, they play tomorrow. It's going to be a tough task. Yamamoto was tonight, but oh boy, tomorrow's Scooble.
Yay. Was it Scooble?
Yeah.
It's Scooble then Snell, right?
Scooble and then Snell. Correct. And that's what I said. Like, Snell's not the same type of pitcher he, has been in the past, but it's still Snell. He's still left-handed, and that's going to come after facing Yamamoto and then Scooble.
They're both high strikeout lefties. It's going to be a trip.
It's going to be a trip. Yep. So let's look at the live numbers right now. FanDuel has the Pirates plus 210.
That's pretty high, isn't it?
210. Yeah. Jared Jones on the mound for the Pirates. Scooble's on the mound for the Dodgers. They are plus 210.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So, I guess with that said, we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Anything else you want to add here, Neil?
Nah, I'm ready for bed.
All right. Appreciate you all for watching, tuning in. Yeah, there's like what it's 1:30. It's
2 o'clock in the morning
on a Friday night, and people are here watching us talk about this loss. We love you all. We appreciate you all. Like, subscribe, download the app, log on to the website, do all the other fun stuff. Like, subscribe, as mentioned. We'll see you guys, I guess, later tonight, technically. Bye-bye.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.